5 mistakes to avoid when designing a website. As a small business owner today, your website is not only likely to be the first point of contact with customers, it should also be the linchpin of your marketing and branding strategy. To maximize your potential, it's pivotal you create a great user experience through your website design. Discover 5 of the most common mistakes website builders fall foul of and learn how to avoid them. 1. Poor navigation. When prospective customer lands on your site, they're most likely there to complete a specific task. Maybe they want to get in touch right away, or they're simply looking for a little more information about your business. Whatever their intention, it's your job to make it easy for them to find what they're looking for. Hence, having simple, self-explanatory navigation is a must for all websites. Include a prominent navigation bar at the top or side of the page that allows users to jump to their desired location quickly and easily. If your website makes it easy for them to find what they're after, they are more likely to stay on the site for longer and contact you to find out more. 2. Weak calls to action. Likewise, as a user makes their way through a website, it should be clear what their next step is. What do you need from your visitors? A sign-up? A purchase? A subscription to your newsletter? Guide users with clear and concise calls to action (CTA) that show them what to do next. Place a CTA prominently at the top of the page, as well as after short paragraphs of copy to encourage customers to click. 3. Busy, cluttered pages. A web page packed with images, text, buttons, and videos might be designed to tempt a user, but in many cases, it's also likely to overwhelm them. What do you do when you can't see a simple answer or logical step forward? You hit the back button. To help visitors move forward, keep the design on your web pages simple, logical, mobile-friendly, and focused on helping users get where they want to be, whether it's a product landing page, sign-up form, or your business contact details. 4. Unstructured content. On a similar note, your website needs to be well-structured and make logical sense. It's not enough to have all of the right elements, you need to have them in the right place. The last thing you want is to accidentally send someone who's near the end of a sales cycle right back to the beginning. Spend some time projecting customer journeys through the content on your site and work out how you can best guide users through the pages and towards a conversion. 5. Lack of social links. The online world is a social one, and if you have a presence on social media platforms, and you should, you can make the most of your assets by displaying links to your social profiles prominently on your website. These can be very valuable on product pages, particularly if you have photogenic products or content that people are likely to share. For more information about obtaining reliable online services for small businesses, get in touch with the team at NetRegistry today. 20 common website mistakes to avoid. There are some areas of life where mistakes should best be avoided, and this is true when it comes to operating a website. You can certainly learn from your mistakes when you have a website, but if you take the time to do your homework, you can avoid making mistakes altogether. So what are some of the most common website mistakes, and how can you deftly sidestep them? 1. Don't underplan your website. You wouldn't open a restaurant without first exhaustively creating a business plan. From its very inception to its target market, promotion, launch, and ongoing growth, you would certainly research each and every conceivable stage of operations. It needs to be the same when you start a website. Perhaps the single most component of successfully growing a website is content marketing. Original quality content is key for building awareness of your page, establishing your credibility and authority in your chosen area, as well as improving your search engine rankings. Quality content is king, and marketing is a proven way of establishing dominance. 2. Don't assume that longer pages are better. The rest of the internet, with its cute kitten videos and celebrity gossip, is just one short click away. It's important not to demand too much concentration from your audience, and pages that are too long can be a definite turn-off. A long page with a huge amount of text can be too much effort, meaning that you'll simply be unable to hold your audience's attention for long enough to deliver your intended message. Your text should be well written and displayed in easy-to-digest chunks. You may even benefit from breaking up the content into appropriate subgroupings, which can then be allocated to their own pages. It's important to understand that many readers will ultimately just skim the page, so don't underestimate the importance of subheadings and bullet points. 3. Don't exclusively focus on your products or services. Yes, the likelihood is that your website exists solely to sell a product or service, which makes it like countless other websites in your area of expertise. What makes you different? A straightforward website that simply offers the product or service in question will fail to differentiate itself from its competitors. What makes your website, and by extension you or your company, unique? Pay attention to branding, and don't be afraid to inject your personality into your web-based enterprise. Do you have a company or personal philosophy, or a particular reason why you decided to start offering the product or service? Personalization makes for a far more unique experience for the consumer. 4. Don't forget that you need a clear call to action. Users have found your website, and the heartiest of congratulations to you, but the battle is far from over. What do you want from them now? Whether it's a purchase, a lead, or a subscription, you need to clearly nudge them in the direction of the next step. The design and content of your website will have hooked their interest if they've made it this far, and yet you need to add a progression to the next level of interaction by including a decisive call to action, a simple and straightforward next step for your relationship with the user. 5. Don't use slideshows if you want your homepage to work. Slideshows might be aesthetically pleasing, but that's about it. In terms of delivering a message, they're inefficient. The information is certainly there, but don't assume that a viewer will be looking at the slideshow from the moment the page loads. They might glance at it and begin to read it, only to have the slideshow move to the next segment. It's far from a certainty that the viewer will attempt to go back and read the item, so it's best to do without this method of displaying information. They look pretty, but they're pretty useless, and they can diffuse your ultimate message. Your website can do without them. 6. Don't write for all 100% of your website traffic. Well-crafted copy should be aimed at a specific market, so attempting to write something that is aimed at 100% of all users who arrive at your website can result in a message that is unfocused and bland. Write content specifically for the smaller number of visitors, who are likely to be conversions. A message that is targeted at your niche group is far more likely to result in a higher conversion rate. 7. Don't forget that your NAP, name, address, telephone number, needs to be up to date. It's a fairly simple step, and yet it can be easily overlooked. Has your company or any internal departments undergone a change of name? Have you moved to a new location or changed phone numbers? Your NAP needs to be clearly displayed and updated as needed, since it's so easy to lose a customer forever should they be directed to an incorrect location or are unable to contact you via a method of their choosing. 8. Don't overlook the importance of your site's blog. Your website's blog is an integral part of your overall success. A blog is where you can personalize your site, and therefore, differentiate yourself from your competitors. It's where you can add fresh and interesting content that engages with your potential conversions in the way that a straightforward e-commerce platform cannot. Your blog should have regularly scheduled updates, with content that is relevant and well-written. A blog is an aspect of operations that many websites outsource, and if you're incapable of producing an interesting blog, then you should certainly consider farming the task out to a professional writer. A good writer will be able to create engaging headlines and titles, with an article that is written utilizing SEO, and yet is still personable and promotional, but not too promotional. A blog is different from an advertorial. 9. Don't forget about your internal pages. It's not all about the homepage. Do your internal pages contain titles and content that is relevant? Internal pages need to be rich with information, as these individual pages can actually figure into your search engine rankings. With a lack of usable information, these internal pages are essentially dead weight. Make these pages work for you by including the relevant information about your product or service that would be expected on a specifically titled internal page. 10. Don't underestimate the importance of mobile traffic. It's amazing how many people are glued to their smartphones while out and about. You might see a group of people at a bar, totally ignoring each other as they intently tap away at their phones. They might be shopping for a new product or service, but are you prepared to receive them? Your website needs to be responsive to smartphone-based web browsers, meaning it needs to be configured to load quickly and display quickly on a screen of any size. If your page cannot be adequately navigated using a smartphone, then you could potentially be missing out on a significant amount of traffic and conversions. 11. Don't fall victim to the poor navigation trap. Having a website that is difficult to navigate is like inviting guests to your home, letting them get lost, become bored, and leave, never to return. Your website design needs to allow for quick and simplistic navigation, meaning that a user should never become lost. If a user becomes lost, you're bound to lose them as a potential customer, and this is simply unacceptable. A clearly visible navigation bar needs to be present, prominently placed, so that it can be seen on a screen of any size. Don't forget the sitemap either. This should allow users to quickly and easily jump to any page within your site. 12. Don't use poor quality photos and images. Your website might be the first introduction a potential customer has to your company, and so any imagery used on your website needs to be top quality. Ensure that photos and images are crisp, and anything that is blurry or pixelated should not be used. If you need original photos to illustrate a product on offer, ensure that the subsequent images are of the highest quality, even if it means you'll need the services of a professional photographer. For other images, you can utilize many of the free online databases that provide stock photos that are free of copyright. Don't simply borrow images free from the internet, as this is not only illegal, but it can make you look unprofessional. 13. Don't use videos that are too long. Well-made videos that are on message can certainly enhance your website. The video can be redundant if it's too long, no matter how well-made it might be. The video exists to engage your audience, not to test their patience. If you have a long message that you feel needs to be conveyed to your audience, consider breaking it into shorter videos of an episodic nature. Videos that follow a logical narrative structure, such as an instructional video, can comfortably be a few minutes in length. Anything else should only run for around 60 to 90 seconds. 14. Don't even think about starting a website without SEO. Your website looks great, is easy to navigate, and makes for a highly pleasurable browsing experience. If you haven't considered SEO in your website design, then your beautiful website is likely to become adrift in the vast seas of the internet. SEO needs to be factored into website design from the very beginning. An SEO expert will be able to help you with the discoverability of your website and build this into its very design. Think of SEO as being the foundation of your website, and not its roof. 15. Don't forget that users value the need for speed. How quickly does your page load? If it's more than a few seconds, there's a strong possibility that your users won't wait, and they will in fact become your competitors' users. A few factors are out of your hands, such as the device being used to access your page, as well as the speed of their internet connection. You need to make it as quick and easy as possible for your users to get to the content they need, and as such, some redesign might be necessary. Does your homepage need quite so much imagery, or that introductory flash animation? A page that loads slowly is a page that can be a major hindrance. 16. Don't be tempted by keyword overoptimization. Imagine a group of primitive villagers living in the shadow of a volcano. The volcano erupts and the villagers are terrified. What have they done? How can they appease the angry volcano spirits? If you go down the road of keyword overoptimization, you're one of the villagers, and you might end up feeling the wrath of the angry volcano spirits, also known as Google. A sacrifice is in order, and the sacrifice is generally the offending website. Keyword stuffing seems almost logical, but is best avoided. Do not stuff a page with keywords in order to achieve a higher page ranking. Google's algorithm is highly effective at identifying pages that add extraneous keywords to content, and in some cases, it can lead to the page being removed from Google search results. 17. Don't include unnatural links. Buying links is not a great way to boost your page's ranking. The quality of inbound links can play a significant role in increasing your ranking, and yet these purchased links are not of sufficient quality to be of use, and can in fact be highly detrimental. Google views these purchase links as unnatural, and in a similar fashion to the way they deal with pages that indulge in keyword stuffing, they can remove pages from their search results if the page has blatantly built unnatural links via purchase. Focus on natural, Google-friendly link building through methods such as guest blogging. 18. Don't forget about Google Analytics. Google Analytics is free to use, and yet the tool perhaps has a tendency to fade into the background. It's there, it's free, it's a very recognizable brand, and yet it's easy to forget that it's available. It's a vital, ever-present tool that can be your best friend when it comes to gauging success and seeing where you need work. If you don't know so much about analytics, then Google is a great place to start. It's user-friendly and customizable, and the data can be as exhaustive as you want. 19. Don't be antisocial when it comes to social media. If your website was a person at a party, would it be meeting new people and networking, or would it be lurking in the corner, wishing it was at home eating chips on the sofa? You need to unlock the potential of social media by being, well, sociable. If you're not active on social media, then you're missing out on potential traffic. Your website needs a well-maintained social media presence, one that links to your website. Social media is a vital way to reach new customers, many of whom might not otherwise find your page via traditional search. You can advertise your page with the paid advertisement, but there are many ways and tricks on how to promote your blog or website for free. 20. Don't use headlines that directly talk about your product or service. Users generally visit your website looking to solve a problem. If you're selling a piece of exercise equipment, then the headline needs to be alluring. So here's how you can be trim and toned in just 5 minutes per day. Works far better than something like Acme Master 5000. It's really that simple. There you have it. Make sure you follow these simple tips when you work on your own or on your client's website, and you won't have problems. Do you have questions? Leave a comment below. 7 mistakes to avoid when creating a website for your business. Ready to take your business online? The first thing you're going to need is an attractive and reliable website to deliver your business strategy to your customers. These days, practically every business, large and small, already has a website. If you haven't created one for your company yet, then you could be missing out on an unlimited amount of traffic and potential sales. The trouble is, most people have no idea where to get started when it comes to building the perfect site. To help you avoid the standard pitfalls, here are some of the biggest mistakes that you can make when creating a website for your company. 1. Bad navigation. When customers arrive on your website, they want to be able to find what they're looking for quickly. This means that the last thing you should have on your site is complicated navigation. There are plenty of ways that you can simplify your customer's experience, including using a theme. One of the easiest ways to create a quick and professional-looking website from scratch is to use a theme. With a theme and a reliable CMS, you can have the basics of a good website in no time. Just remember to customize your theme to suit your brand. Stick with the standards. Make sure that you remember the standard navigation format. This means placing a vertical navigation bar at the top of the page. Avoid overwhelm. Don't include too much clutter on your pages. Your customers should be able to see navigation points easily. 2. Inconsistent branding. From the moment your customers visit your website, they should know that it's your business they're interacting with. Keep that in mind when you're designing, and remember to show off the unique elements of your company whenever you can. This could mean that you add your logo to the top of each page or maintain your brand colors throughout the site. The more consistent your branding is, the easier it will be for your customers to recognize you and build a relationship with your brand. 3. Not making it responsive. All websites today should be responsive. We're living in a world where consumers spend more time browsing on their smartphones and tablets than they do on an actual computer. With that in mind, your site needs to be able to look and perform just as well on a small screen as it does on a large one. There are plenty of things you can do to make your website responsive, but the easiest option is generally to work with a website designer who specializes in responsive sites. Using a designer will also help you to create a brand image for your site that's unlike anything else in the market. 4. No call to action. Once a customer arrives on your website, it should be obvious what they need to do next. A classic mistake that companies make is failing to provide this information. Adding a simple call to action button telling someone to contact you if they want to find out about your services, or click through to your product page to see what you sell is a great way to drive conversions. Make sure that your call to action buttons are in a contrasting color to the rest of your website page, and that they're surrounded by plenty of white space. 5. Forgetting analytics. A website isn't something that you should build once and simply forget about. The trends in web design and customer preference are constantly changing, and it's important to stay up to date with what's happening in your area. Fortunately, there are plenty of analytical tools, including Google Webmaster Tools, that can help you to keep track of your website's performance. The more you know about which pages are driving conversions, and which might be slowing down your sales, the faster your business can grow. 6. Ignoring SEO. Speaking of driving the best possible performance from your website, it's crucial to make sure that as many people can find your site as possible. You can do this by promoting yourself through PPC ads and social media campaigns. However, SEO or search engine optimization should also be a component of your online strategy. Remember that the demands of the search engine algorithms are constantly changing, so it pays to fine-tune your SEO strategy regularly to stay ahead of the curve. 7. Letting your site run slowly. Finally, today's customers don't have time to waste on a slow site. Most will only wait a few seconds before they hit the back button and go to your competitor's website instead. With that in mind, make sure that you focus on making your site as lightweight and speedy as possible. 10 mistakes that you should avoid while designing a website. Website creation is a very individual and creative process. But in many cases, it is imperative to remember that the site is created for visitors and not for themselves, and for them to create a design, additional services, and content. But as experience has already shown, not all sites are attractive, and creating a high-quality design is not so difficult. Therefore, before start working on a website project, especially on designing a new site, you need to fully understand the scope of the project. Highlighting core requirements and goals help you to limit the spread of project boundaries. However, the below information will be useful for both novice designers and everyone who is interested in creating an attractive website. So, avoid these top 10 design mistakes while creating a visually attractive and user-friendly site. Overloading site. Often, site owners make the mistake of overloading the site with a variety of different fonts, scattered images, incompatible color palettes, and other elements that are stylistically unrelated to each other. This can happen for a number of reasons. When developing a website, try to limit yourself to one style. Do not choose more than 2 or 3 colors, use one logo and font, and stick to this choice on all pages of your site. Therefore, select all the appropriate fonts and styles that are made by professional designers and are initially set up in templates. Poor structure of the site. One of the main mistakes when creating a site is a mess on its pages. This may include inconvenient navigation, a jumble of blocks with content, a curved layout, the inaccessibility of buttons, links, search strings, and other significant elements. Therefore, make sure the site visitor must clearly understands the entire structure of the site and use the menu on each page in the same place. In case the structure of the site is complicated, you can create its map and use such a useful function as search. Absolutely every page is obliged to give a person clear instruction on the site. Too many calls to action. In order to eliminate the confusion of your visitors, you need to include only one call to action on each page of your website. Usage of too many calls to action can make your customers get frustrated and even abandon your website. Therefore, make it very simple and easy for your visitors. Use graphical accents to make your sign-up button. One look should tell your users what action they need to take regarding purchasing or buying products. Poor quality linking and inappropriate images. The links and images on your website must be clearly visible to your visitors. If links are not clearly visible to the user, then it would be frustrating them. Having poor quality links on your website is regarded as one of the biggest website designing mistakes. On the other hand, bad images and graphics can quickly convey complex thoughts. An error will be the use of images and links that have no meaningful connection with the rest of the content and theme of your site. When links and images are not related to the main theme, it can confuse readers and divert their attention. Pop-ups. Well-designed pop-ups or pop-ups can bring a lot of benefits to the site. But often pop-ups cause users discomfort and irritation. In order to avoid aggressive pop-up windows, do not use pop-ups immediately when you open the page. Make them unobtrusive and do not overlap the content. Use banners of reasonable size that will be easy to close. Create an attractive text that will help you gather the information you need. Create visually attractive pop-ups, and they will bring good to your site. Infinite page scrolling. In fact, endless scrolling can be an ideal solution for engaging users in exploring the depths of a site. Scrolling is easier and faster than a click. In addition, it is good for mobile devices. However, the endless scrolling causes some inconvenience to users and does not always display the true amount of data. Therefore, use the scroll with the ability to attach materials to the top. This way, users can view a wealth of information without having to download all the pages. Background video/audio. Appropriate video or audio on the site can definitely attract the attention of users, as well as scare them away. This is a good resource, but at the same time the download speed slows down, and as a result, the visitor's attention is lost. On the other hand, there are many mobile devices in which the background video playback function is simply disabled. If you already use a background video, make it wisely so that it conveys and expresses the spirit of your brand. Therefore, add a video with proper play and pause buttons to control the sound. Lack of optimization for search engines. In order to create a website, you need not only to complete web design courses, but also to understand the principles of the search engines. The search engines are the bridge that leads the users to websites. Therefore, make sure that the texts on the site are unique and on all pages of the site. Meta tags are also registered. These tags will tell the search engines what topics the published content belongs to. In addition, enter thematic keywords into articles on the site so that users will be able to find your resource. The proper optimization of the site will increase the speed of indexing pages. Slow loading. Slow loading of the page can adversely affect the performance of the website. Page load time is the main reason why many sites remain abandoned. Poor page performance also influences user buying behavior. A developer can simply compress JavaScript or CSS files, instead of carefully compressing every page of the site where these files are located. The image size can also be optimized in order to reduce download speed. In addition, the web-based tools will provide insight into your site and also improve the download speed. Bad formatting and irrelevant content. For the user, there is nothing worse than getting no fresh content, but obsolete. The same goes for goods that are already sold. If the web resource has information that depends on time, then you need to have an absolutely clear system for tracking its relevance and timeliness. In addition, learn how to format the content, including break the text into paragraphs, use headlines, and align all the elements on the grid. Make sure the headings should be in one font and the main text in others. 7 Most Common Web Design Mistakes to Avoid in 2020. As a growing brand, the last thing you want is to be guilty of web design mistakes when launching an online presence. A professional website is a requirement for gaining new customers, establishing credibility, and fostering client relationships. Ideally, the most effective websites provide an optimal user-friendly experience, a steady flow of targeted leads, and of course, ongoing sales. There's no better time to take a look at your web strategy than right now in an effort to uncover some of the most common web design mistakes to avoid. I'll cover 7 major issues that will help you bring in more business with quick and easy fixes. But first, before building a new website or undergoing a redesign, ask yourself a few fundamental questions. What are the goals of the website? Who are the target customers or clients? How will I drive traffic to the website? Who is going to update the website and how often? How much will website maintenance or updates cost? Already have an existing website? Not to worry. Any common web design mistakes can be corrected with some thought and effort. Outline the basics of your web strategy first, answering the questions above. Then, avoid the following costly errors before launching your website. Mistake 1. A lack of clear call to action. Missing call to action is probably one of the biggest small business website mistakes we see across the board. The best website user experience should tell a customer the what, where, and how. What to do. Where to go. How to feel. What is a call to action? A call to action, or CTA, will get visitors focused on what their next step is. It is a prompt that is written with a persuasive command attached to a link or button. Use content that describes the value of your products or services, along with a compelling phrase that prompts action. Be very clear with your language. It's not necessary to get creative with call to action wording. Keep your call to action simple and succinct. Tell users exactly what to do. Strong website CTAs include: add to cart, get started, contact us today, yes, sign me up, buy now. Mistake number 2. No analytics to measure performance. One of the biggest web design mistakes to avoid is not looking at important data behind a website's use. Get this, 75% of small business sites do not use analytics tools to track performance. Think of your website as an investment. One of the most important things you can do to protect this investment is to analyze progress and measure success. It's a simple concept, right? A huge benefit of online marketing is the ability to easily test, track, and adjust. You can test and track with a metrics tool. The most widely used is Google Analytics. This tool will give you loads of valuable information about user behaviors and allow you to set up goals to track conversion. If you have a WordPress website, you'll be able to easily install a popular free plugin called Monster Insights that connects your site easily to Google Analytics. Couple the data you gain from analytics with a digital advertising campaign, and you'll be able to specifically target and retarget your online marketing to an audience that brings you business. Mistake number 3. Unclear brand messaging. This may be one of the most underrated bad website design mistakes out there. Messaging is a success factor for all the major big-name brands, but it's definitely starting to get on the radar of many small business brands. My prediction is that this will be the highest priority to focus on when avoiding web design mistakes in 2020. If you can overcome this now, you'll be ahead of the pack that's scratching their head wondering why people are not getting their brand or buying from them. The key here is storytelling. What this means is creating communication that is compelling to your audience and connects with them on an emotional level. If you sound like every other company out there with generic messaging, why should people care? In order to stand out, your message has to come from your brand values and beliefs. This is what will differentiate you from the competition. Here's the most important part. Your website content has to address the needs and motivations of the target persona, not your own agenda or accomplishments. Brand messaging should be framed to understand their decision-making process and what value you bring. Do less talking about yourself and more talking with the audience to solve their pain points. It's a conversation that builds trust, which leads to more sales. Dollar Shave Club is one of the most recently famous brand storytelling efforts that knocked it out of the park, to the tune of a $1 billion acquisition by Unilever. Their first video set the tone for the brand voice, beliefs, and value propositions in under 2 minutes, garnering 2.5 million views to date. Think about how you can create something as amazing as that, translated into the personality of your website copy. It doesn't need to be humorous or outrageous, it just needs to be true to your own brand. Mistake number 4: weak search engine optimization, SEO. While you may think that badly designed websites mean the front-facing user experience is poor, it's content that will make or break traffic and lead generation. Great content provides exceptional value and gets found organically via search engines. However, there is no magic formula to obtain high search engine rankings. What's more, high-ranking results definitely do not happen overnight. Old-school SEO used to be a mix of stuffed keywords, thin content, and oodles of haphazard backlinks, whether credible or not. Anyone making these web design mistakes can get penalized and lose site authority. Search engine algorithms have grown to be a lot smarter than that, and value a site based on much more. If there are a few key things to hone in on for search engine optimization, it's these. Focus on long-tail keywords. Long-tail keywords are the direction that user searches are heading, a more natural language approach. You'll have an easier time ranking for longer keyword phrases than short ones, and it will likely bring you more relevant leads. For example, instead of kitchen renovation, try this: how much does a kitchen renovation cost? That specific consumer may be looking at pricing already, important information that you can provide to help start the relationship with your brand. Other examples for long-tail keywords can be determined if you do an initial search on Google for the shorter keyword phrase, more commonly known as head term. Take a look below at similar searches that users perform in relation to the term kitchen renovation when seeking information. You can find these at the bottom of the page after conducting a search on Google. Post quality content regularly. A stale website will not build the strongest relationships with potential or repeat customers. You must offer unique, informative, and fresh content. This frequent, quality content is now highly valuable as an SEO practice. The old adage is still true, and always will be: content is king. Think seriously about including an active blog component to your website. A blog will allow you to share articles about industry trends and helpful expertise. Give your potential customers value that will, in turn, gain their trust and build a brand. Choose topics that provide useful information and engage readers, in a well-written format of at least 1,000 words, if not more. Encourage social engagement. One thing that your business can have over a large corporation is the ability to connect personally with customers. A good way to nurture these relationships is through social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. These outlets are another way to strengthen your brand identity and customer service recognition. Combine the blog posting with social sharing, and you've got a recipe for higher rankings on Google. Mistake number 5. Hard to find contact info. Your business should be everybody's business. Customers and clients need to get in touch with you easily. More often than not, website owners do not show their phone number prominently in the header and footer, or on a dedicated contact page. This is one of the easiest web design mistakes to avoid. Put a clear call to action in the header with the direct phone number, example, call for a free estimate today. 800-555-5555. If you don't want to appear too sales-y in your header, then a simple call 800-555-5555 works just as well, or even just the phone number. Customers do not want to work to find out how to get in touch with you from the web. Minimize the clicks, maximize the opportunity. Add a Contact Us page link in the main navigation. Allow users as many ways to contact you as possible: phone, email, contact form submission, even via your Facebook or Twitter page. Always reply promptly to solidify initial trust in the relationship. Again, there is no need to get creative with the wording of the contact link in the main navigation. Your audience is specifically looking for a contact page. Mistake number 6. Slow load times. If your website loads slowly, you will most certainly lose the visitor. By slow, I mean anything that takes above 3 seconds to load. Everyone wants to find their information fast. According to Google, 53% of mobile site visits leave a page that takes longer than 3 seconds to load. Remember how I talked about having strong SEO for your website above? Well, a slow page load time can significantly affect your search engine rankings. This website mistake can be a technical issue. Therefore, it's important to get your developer involved to find ways to improve the page load time for an existing website. For a new website design, ensure that having a fast load time is at the top of your list when you provide requirements to your web designer or creative agency. Mistake number 7. No mobile site experience. This is a biggie in the world of web design mistakes. A customer's impression of your website design is now contingent on what it looks like from their handheld device. People are constantly connected nowadays. Most consumers are using their smartphone browsers at a rate almost higher than desktop use, mobile usage was forecasted to surpass desktop in 2015. Take a look at the following data from the Google Mobile Playbook. If your site does not have a mobile-friendly experience, consider it a priority. 40% of users have gone to a competitor's website after a poor mobile experience. Because users are looking for the optimal experience, they will continue to look for the best one for them. This means your competitors may have a leg up on you. 57% of users say they will not recommend a business with a badly designed mobile site. With the power of reviews and referrals fueling a consumer's decision-making, you'll want the recommendations. Make it easy to create a lasting impression with a mobile-friendly experience. 67% of users say they are more likely to buy a product from a mobile-friendly site. Offer a consistent experience on all devices, desktop, tablet, and especially mobile. With over 50% of traffic coming from mobile and 21% of those consumers converting, your business cannot afford to go without a mobile presence. Consider a responsive web design for mobile, which is an optimal experience and Google approved for SEO. Don't be one of those badly designed websites. Bring in more business with these quick and easy solutions to fix some of the biggest website mistakes. Include the following best practices when designing a new website. Use a strong call to action that drives users down a path. Measure website analytics by having Google Analytics installed. Offer crystal clear messaging to the right audience. Publish blog content regularly, focus on long-tail keywords and share it on social media. Put a visible phone number in the header and on the contact page. Optimize page load times to keep visitors engaged. Ensure your website has a mobile-friendly experience. With all the things to juggle as a business owner, consider hiring a professional web designer. They can help ensure your website generates leads for your business by providing an optimal user experience for your customers. And more importantly, avoiding all the common website design mistakes. In addition to web design and development, the right creative partner should be able to provide consultation on the appropriate content marketing to draw an audience, effective search engine optimization methods, and a successful social media strategy. If an agency is also experienced in branding services, even better. 10 most common web design mistakes small businesses make. A unique and compelling website isn't an option anymore. Having a poor site causes businesses to lose customers, and that is money out the door. Unfortunately, this occurs with an alarming frequency. Many small business owners design their own websites to save money and have more control over the project. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't truly understand the concepts of good web design, leading to a website that's less than ideal. Web design, at its essence, is a form of art. And like art, web design looks to give its viewers an experience. Web design is meant to combine form and function in a way that makes a website enjoyable, navigable, interesting, and usable. To do this, there are certain spoken and unspoken rules web designers must follow. Often, people don't follow these rules, and that's when websites like this happen. P.S. This website is a spoof, but I have encountered sites that give it a good challenge. Don't be that website. From experience, I can say that these are the most common web design mistakes small business owners often make. 1. Too much going on. Portray pertinent business information right away on your website. Visitors who can't understand what your site is about within a few seconds of arriving on your site will leave. While that's important to keep in mind, it often leads small business owners to cram too much above the fold. Not only is the fold a myth, but also a crowded website is never a good thing. Websites with tons of images, text, and other things going on will take a while to load, and they'll confuse your visitors. Avoid busy designs like the plague. 2. Too little going on. Websites with next to nothing on them are on the other end of the spectrum. Minimalism in design is a huge trend right now, and it works when done correctly. Some small business websites are overly cryptic and leave too much to the imagination. That's another big mistake. Your visitors want to know who you are and what your business will do for them. Relying too much on simple imagery with no clear direction will leave your visitors guessing, and that's not a good thing. 3. Too confusing. Somewhere in the middle of the too much/too little spectrum lies the dreaded confused brand website. The confused site is one that features a variety of typefaces, images, color palettes, and themes, none of which relate to each other. This occurs for a number of reasons. It can happen when you don't have a good idea of your brand image. You can easily fall into this trap when you like too many design templates and want to use them all. It can also happen when you're trying to convey too many ideas at once and view your site as individual components rather than holistically. When designing a website, choose one theme, one logo, and one typeface, and stay with them across all other aspects of your site. 4. A terrible CTA. Your CTA is the gateway to your business. It commands your visitors to do something. Click here. Get a coupon. Learn more about this product. Obviously, it's very important that your CTA clearly tells visitors what they need to do. There should be enough information that visitors know what they're going to get from taking action and what information they need to provide. On the other hand, there's a fine line between being helpful and being annoying. Make sure your CTA is concise and tells customers exactly what to do. Keep form filling to a minimum and give them a few minutes on your page before the CTA shows up. 5. Poor use of content and whitespace. Content is a crucial part of your website and marketing campaign. Content is what tells readers about your business and the products or services you offer. Pay careful attention to the fonts you choose and how content is laid out on the page. Typeface conveys your brand image in addition to the actual words you write, so make sure you pick a legible and attractive font. Make good use of whitespace to bring the eye around your site and make a large block of text less intimidating. Incorporating too much text into their websites is a big mistake many people make. Break text up where you can and use visual elements to represent concepts where possible. Content should always be updated, otherwise, customers might think you've gone out of business. 6. Ugly or irrelevant images. Photos and graphics are also an integral part of web design. Images can convey complex thoughts quickly without having to physically read the text. That being said, many businesses inexplicably use irrelevant images or low-quality images. Images that aren't of the highest quality will muck up your website and turn off visitors. Likewise, irrelevant images will only confuse your readers, making them wonder what you're trying to convey. 7. Hidden navigation. Navigability issues will kill your website's popularity fast. We live in an age where everything is delivered to us in an instant, and anything longer will make people abandon your site. Making your navigation menu hard to find is one common web design mistake. Have you ever been to a website and you can't find the menu or the search bar? It's infuriating. Make sure the navigational aspects of your website are easily understood and even easier to notice. Number 8. Missing your target. As a small business owner, you understand how important it is to know your target audience. You've probably spent hours creating customer profiles and figuring out how to attract consumer attention. This is just as significant in web design. The way your site looks and feels will naturally attract a certain type of visitor. Some websites are highly professional, some are trendy and hip, while others are fun and bubbly. Sometimes, a website tries to speak to too many audiences. If you try to please too many types of customers, you'll end up with a muddled website. Identify and profile your target audience and cater to it. Number 9. Lack of contact info. Strangely, a lack of contact information is another common mistake. The moment visitors decide to make a purchase or use your services is crucial. It's imperative they have the necessary contact information the second they decide you're the right company for them. If a visitor has to search through your site for contact info, he or she will likely get frustrated and leave. Your Contact Us page should always be just one click away, or your information should be at the bottom of every page. 10. Ads in all the wrong places. Advertising is a necessary evil in the web design world, especially on blogs, where it is regarded as one of the main income streams. However, too many ads or noisy and flashy ads will frustrate your visitors and make you lose business. Analyze your ads like a hawk, if they annoy you even in the slightest, they'll undoubtedly do the same to your visitors. Pay extra attention to pop-ups. While they're generally making a comeback, make sure they're easy to close and not full screen size. Always keep your target audience and brand image in mind in every step of the design process, from planning to post-launch analysis. If you can reconcile the two, you'll have a beautiful website that speaks volumes about your business. If you digitally build it, they'll come. 15 biggest mistakes to avoid when building a website. Number 1. You don't have a plan. When building a website, it's the same idea as opening a store, restaurant, or any other kind of business. You need a plan. You must understand your target audience, your USP, unique selling proposition, how you are going to promote your website, and further growth. Each stage of developing a website needs a lot of research, and without doing this, you will be blindly building a website and hoping that it is what your audience wants without knowing so. Not having a website plan is one of the biggest mistakes to avoid when building a website. Solution: it's simple really, create a website plan. Number 2. An inconsistent domain name. When choosing a domain name to represent your online identity, it needs to be relevant to your business and easy for your audience to remember. The domain names that are most memorable are typically the most successful. Solution: do your research and find a domain name that defines your business and is consistent with your online message. Number 3. Cluttered homepage. When looking at mistakes to avoid when building a website, having a cluttered homepage is definitely one of them. As there is so much content online, website visitors have little to no patience, so if the first thing they see when they come to your website is a cluttered homepage, they will be gone before you can show value. Solution: kiss it. Keep it super simple. Number 4. Slow servers. Having slow servers means that your website's load time will be negatively impacted. It has been reported that on average, a potential prospect will wait for a website to load for just 4 seconds before bouncing. Solution: look at the size of your images, the widgets you are using, and the hosting plan you are. Number 5. Not thinking about mobile. This is one of the biggest mistakes to avoid when building a website. Over 60% of all online searches are now through mobile and 80% in social media. It's not just about choosing a mobile-friendly template, you will need to think about how the layout of your website translates to mobile so that it is giving the same seamless journey. Solution: when building your website, always look at it through mobile to make sure that the message translates. Number 6. Ineffective use of widgets. Widgets, also called plugins, are great, but only have the ones that actually do something for your website. With WordPress, for example, they have thousands of widgets you can install, and this may seem great at the time, but the more you install, the more impact it will have on the weight of your website and how long it takes to load. Solution: only add the widgets that you know you are going to use and will help you grow your business online. When choosing a widget, make sure it is responsive, can be styled to match your website, and is secure over HTTPS. Number 7. Forgetting the importance of a contact page. I have seen this time and time again, which is why it has made my list of the 15 biggest mistakes to avoid when building a website. Having a contact page on your website is so important. If a user wants to contact you, but they can't easily navigate or find your contact page, they will leave. Solution: make a contact page and have it on the menu bar at the top of your website, and always keep this information up to date. Number 8. Putting your wants before the user's needs. We all want our website to look amazing, have the best functionality, and compete with our biggest competitors as we think this is what will get us sales, but in actual fact, this is far from being true. When you are building your website, you do need to put your audience's needs before what you want because they are the ones who will be purchasing from your business. Solution: do your research and find out what your target audience wants from a website, and combine your design aspirations with this in mind. Number 9. Broken links. The dreaded 404 pages are asking for your website visitors to leave your website immediately. When building your website, make sure that all of your links are functional. Solution: Include a Contact the Webmaster link in your website's footer so that a user can let you know if they find a broken page. Number 10. Poor quality visuals. I see this time and time again with websites, and it is one of the biggest mistakes to avoid when building a website. If you are going to use visuals to display your content on your website, make sure they are high quality. Solution: if creating visuals is not something you have the time for, or can do to a high standard, find someone that can. Number 11. No search box. Your website will be in essence an archive of information, so if a user cannot navigate through the use of a search bar to find the information they want, they will not spend their time scrolling through your website trying to find it. Solution: copy the HTML code from your control panel and paste it into your website to give your users the searching functionality they need. Number 12. Forgetting about SEO. Whilst SEO is an ongoing process, it is so important that when building a website, this is something you consider doing your research on. For your website to be found in search engines, you do need to have metadata that uses your keywords and is based on how your audience searches for your products/services. Number 13. Difficult navigation. Navigation is one of the biggest mistakes to avoid when building a website. If links are hard to find and buttons are not visible, your visitors will go through your website in circles. Navigation is simple, so don't overcomplicate it. Solution: use your main menu as a way for your audience to navigate. Use simple text and avoid using anything too high-tech, especially if your target customer is someone who is not tech-savvy. Number 14. Missing video. 51.9% of marketing professionals worldwide name video as the type of content with the best ROI. If over 50% of marketing professionals say this, then video should be a huge part of the content on your website. Solution: when creating videos, always edit the video to add text onto the screen using a tool like iMovie Maker or Windows Movie Maker. Number 15. No call to actions. If you want someone to sign up to receive email marketing from you, or you want someone to share your content with their audience, call to action buttons need to be integrated into the build of your website. Solution: add your call to action buttons to your website plan so that these are a part of the design and not an afterthought.